Live up to that deal or we are through. I told you to look out for him! I just love being out there with you guys. It's the only thing that matters to me.
The Vonners will forever be the greatest family in the history of wrestling.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel. My name is Owe, and today I got a movie review for you guys, and that movie is The Iron Claw, directed by Sean Durkin, starring Zac Efron, Jeremy Allen White, and Holt McCallany. Now, in The Iron Claw, we focus on one of professional wrestling's most prestigious families, and that is the Von Erichs. And in The Iron Claw, we follow the ups and downs, the glory, and the tragedy that unfortunately surrounds this pro wrestling family. Now, I'm a big wrestling fan. I'm a huge wrestling fan. In my opinion, I grew up during the greatest era of professional wrestling, and that is the Attitude Era, baby. So all you 90s kids, represent and be thankful, because we had some of the best damn entertainment that's ever graced the TV screen. But with that said, I still love researching and looking up old videos from the era of wrestling in the 80s and beyond. So I even like the new stuff now. I'm enjoying the new product that's coming out now. So if you're a wrestling fan, the Iron Claw, in my opinion, is a must watch. Now, I've heard about the Von Erichs before, specifically Kerry Von Erich, aka the Texas Tornado. I remember him and his promos with Ric Flair back in the day in old VHS tapes that I used to rent. So I knew about the Von Erichs, but I did not know the tragedy and dark clouds that surrounded their family name. I had no idea. So everything in this movie was pretty fresh to me. So I also had to do a little bit of research afterwards, and man, this is a great movie. Like I said before, this is a must-watch if you're a wrestling fan, but at the same time, I do feel like they held back a little bit, or a lot actually, in this movie. But that doesn't take away, I shouldn't judge the movie just because I feel like they held back. Maybe it was to pay respects to the remaining Von Erichs out there, but yeah, I really wish this movie really showed everything that this family went through. They even left out a brother in this movie, which I don't know why creatively they did that. I mean, this movie is a little over 2 hours, so I would have easily watched another 30 minutes of this movie if they also included the other brother that existed. Like, if you go into the Iron Claw blind, you'd think it's just the underdog story of this family rising from, mediocreness to greatness. So when the tragedy and negative things starts happening, it's going to hit you like a freight train, because this movie does a great job in showing the relationship between the Von Erich brothers.
Morning.
Pants tomorrow, please, David.
Terry, I want you to join your brothers in the ring.
Yes, sir. I love that.
Now, we all know Kerry's my favorite, then Kev, then David, then Mike. But the rankings can always change.
So I really loved how this movie approached the brotherly bond that these brothers had for one another. It really set up the heart and soul of this movie and made you really care about all of them. So when the bad things start happening, it sucks, man. It was hard to watch at times, but I think they did approach it respectfully. Even though I would have personally liked to see the darker side of things, because if you do a little research with these real-life people, man, they got into some shit. Especially Kerry Von Erich. That guy was a wildcat and a larger-than-life character. So, yeah, I really kind of wish they would have delved into the darker side of what these brothers went through. But like I said, it was probably to pay respects to the remaining Von Erich family. But man, let's talk about performances. Zac Efron as our lead, Kevin Von Erich. He was amazing. The fact that he's not nominated for an Oscar or even mentioned in the running is a damn crime, which is another reason why I just don't give a shit about award shows, because they overlook performances like Zac Efron, which I'll also say, he is the only actor in this movie that really looked like a professional wrestler. He is jacked as hell in this movie. I mean, Jeremy Allen White and the rest, they're in really good shape, but Zac Efron really portrayed the body type of a professional wrestler, especially back in the 80s. So I do wish that the other brothers and actors looked a little bit more professional wrestler like. You know what I mean? Like just roided out of their minds and huge. But they were in good shape, and when they were wrestling, I thought they looked good in the ring. The wrestling scenes were choreographed very well. They were trained by Chavo Guerrero, who was a WWE superstar. The wrestling scenes were great. There's maybe 3 or 4 wrestling scenes in this movie, and they're all really entertaining. I actually wish there was more. They really skipped over a very important wrestling match in history with Kerry Von Erich versus Ric Flair, which I would have liked to seen, but they kind of skipped over that part. And to Ric Flair, here's one nitpick. Like, all my gripes with this movie are just little nitpicks, but Ric Flair's portrayal in this movie is trash. It is not good at all. It is almost a parody, especially because Ric Flair is such an icon in the pro wrestling entertainment history. He's such a vital character and person in this world. So when, you know, the actor portraying him does his whole promo and everything, it's like, oh god, this is such a good scene, but the actor playing Ric Flair just does not have it at all. So that kind of took me out of the movie. But other than that, the other characters, the brothers, all did a fantastic job. Holt McCallany as Fritz, the father, he did a really good job as well. The mother in this movie was good. Everyone in this movie was good. So all the performances, especially Zac Efron's, man. There's a scene at the end of the movie with Zac Efron. If you don't get teary-eyed or sad, oh man, you got no soul. You got no soul. But there's some really good scenes in this movie. There's a really good montage scene. I love a great montage scene, especially if you have great music to it. And in this movie, we get Rush, Tom Sawyer playing as the brothers are wrestling, kicking ass, training, and then doing coke and steroids at the same time. So you do get glimpses of the dark side of the pro wrestling world. And I love that montage scene. It's probably going to be one of my favorite montage scenes in history, to be honest with you.
Together, we can do anything.
We're here to restore justice to the Wrestling Federation that our father built with his own 2 hands. The hands that were passed down to us. The hands that will deliver the Iron Claw to you.
So yeah, I really enjoyed the Iron Claw. Like I said, my nitpicks are, I wish they would have delved a little bit more to the darker side of what these brothers went through. And I also wish we spent a little bit more time with Kerry Von Erich. He was probably the most popular of the brothers, especially during his run in the WWF back in the day. So I really wish he would have got to delve into the mindset of Kerry Von Erich a little bit more, and also David Von Erich. So, because this movie is mostly through the eyes of Zac Efron's character, Kevin Von Erich. It's mostly from his perspective. So I really wish we got a little bit more time with more of the brothers. And I really wish that we had more wrestling scenes, because I really enjoyed those wrestling scenes in this movie. Those would be my nitpicks. And this is a long movie, and we have to go through a lot of emotional baggage along with it. But I was still entertained throughout the whole film. So I'm going to go ahead and give the Iron Claw a 8.5 out of 10. And if you're a wrestling fan, you got to watch this movie and pay respects to the Von Erichs, who are an important staple in wrestling history. So, all right, everyone, that's my review of the Iron Claw. Post down in the comments section below of what you thought of the movie. If you've seen it, let me know. And if you like this video, hit that like button. If you like this channel and want to see me again, subscribe to it as well by smashing that subscribe button. And I'll see you all next time. See ya.